Good morning, or afternoon, or whatever time of day it is. We're going to grade 6.2 homework. Please write checked by at the bottom, graded by, and put your name. So we're going to do this homework. We'll grade together. We'll start with A, decide if the center is formed by perpendicular bisectors or angle bisectors. So you're going to need to look and see perpendicular bisectors. They are perpendicular at a midpoint. So perpendicular at a midpoint. Whereas angle bisectors cut an angle in half. So you're going to have to make that decision, whether one or the other has happened. So from your center, you can look at this. To me, it's easier to tell you what it's not. If you look at your angles that are bisected, you want to think of like slices of cake. If you look at these two, if you were offered this slice of cake or this slice of cake, does your brain automatically say, oh, they're the same thing, they're even? If it does not say that they're even, then this is not bisected. They would have to be even slices. So this is not an angle bisector, which means it is most likely a perpendicular bisector. So it means these lines would have to touch at the midpoint, which it appears to be the midpoint. And it also needs to form 90 with the side. You can always check that with a piece of paper, because a corner of a piece of paper is 90 degrees. So letter A, this is a perpendicular bisector. So because it is a perpendicular bisector, a circumcenter is formed. Which means, so when you have a circumcenter, I'll just write CIR as my abbreviation. The distance is equidistant to the angled vertices. So the angles vertices. So it says solve for BG. So you need to look for another line that goes to a vertice, and it would be GC. So BG is 9. If any of these were wrong, it'd be -1 for each one that was wrong. Number 2, you'll need to do the same thing. Decide if it's perpendicular bisectors or angle bisectors. This one is harder to tell about angle bisectors, so you'd have to remember that perpendicular bisectors, when they intersect, they form a circumcenter. When angle bisectors intersect, they form an in-center, and an in-center always has to be inside of the triangle. This point is not inside of the triangle, so that means it's a circumcenter, which means it was formed by perpendicular bisectors. So once again, perpendicular bisectors. You can also tell it intersects pretty much at halfway, forms a right angle. Okay. So B would be a circumcenter. Again, because an in-center cannot be on the outside of the triangle. Last thing is find CG. CG will be the same length as BG, which is 10. So again, it is 1 point for each one that was not correct. This next one, you need to ask, are they perpendicular bisectors? So that would mean these points on the side of the triangle would have to be in the center at the midpoint. I'm going to tell you right now that this is definitely not the midpoint, because U is not in the middle. So if it's not perpendicular bisectors, you can always ask yourself, do you have angle bisectors? And if you were offered these slices of cake here in the corner, they're the same in each corner, prospectively. So like this slice of cake's the same as this one. This slice of cake, same as this one. This slice, same as this one. So these are angle bisectors. So angle bisectors is letter A. So if you have angle bisectors, that is formed by an incenter. So for an incenter, it is equidistant to the sides. Equidistant to the sides. So all of these to the side are going to be congruent. So to find PS will be congruent to 2, so equal to 2. Again, these are -1 for each one that were not correct. Letter B, what am I saying? Number 4, again, I'm sorry, it is 7:31 in the morning. My daughter gave me a run for my money. I'm just here. Here we are. Number 4, we're going to decide if they're angle bisectors or perpendicular bisectors. So you need to see if the angles are bisected or if the sides are bisected. The sides are for sure bisected. This is the midpoint. It also forms 90, so that means this is a perpendicular bisector. So these are, again, perpendicular bisectors. Perpendicular bisectors form a circumcenter. And the distance from the center to the angles is congruent. Center to angle, center to angle, center to angle. So PC will be 15. Again, 1 point for each of these if they got them wrong. And again, you should have known automatically this was not an incenter because the point was not inside of the triangle. It was outside of the triangle. Number 5, we have point P. We need to look and see if we have angle bisectors or perpendicular bisectors. Perpendicular bisectors intersect the side at a midpoint. Check, and they form a right angle. So perpendicular bisectors, which means this is a circumcenter. So from the center to the angles are congruent. So AP is 6. Once again, these are 1 point apiece for each A, B, and C. Last one we do. These are angle bisectors. Remember that those little arcs mean that the angles are congruent. So that means this angle is congruent to this one, this angle is congruent to this one, this angle congruent to this one. So it means that they were cut perfectly in half. So angle bisector. Which means we have an incenter. Find the length of MP. So the distance from the center to the sides is the same. So it'll be 11. Once again, these are 1 point apiece if they were wrong. I hope that you are a nice person and wrote in the correct answers, because they are going to get this back. It's going to be in the notebook check. So it'd be good to know. Point P is the incenter of triangle QRS. Use the given information to find the indicated measure. So, incenter, remember from the center to the sides is congruent. So center to side, center to side, center to side. So you have PJ and you have PL and then you have PK. All of these are equal to each other. So if I found the length of either of these, it's the same as PK. So I'm going to set PJ equal to, PJ equal to PL. So PJ is 4x minus 8. PL is x plus 7. So I'll just tell you what x is. X is 5, so plug it back in. 5 plus 7 is 12. You can check in the other one as well. 4 times 5 minus 8 is also 12, so PK is 12. This one does require work. If it does not have work, it counts as skipping. So if they skipped it, it's minus 10 for no work or for just skipping in general. Is -1 if they tried it but they got it wrong. And number 8 will be graded the same. So both of these graded like that. Second one is the same way. Pn equals Pm. So 6x plus 2 equals 8x minus 14. I'll tell you what x is. X equals 8. So plug it into either of them. PL will equal 50. So again, if there's no work, is -10 on either of these, -1 if they just got it wrong. Number 9, a cellular phone company is building a tower at an equal distance from 3 large apartment buildings. So if you connected these dots, this is a triangle, this is why this applies. We want our new tower to be equal distance from the 3 apartment buildings. So each of these buildings is the vertice of the triangle. So we want it to be congruent or equal distance to the angle's vertices. Explain which center you can use for the figure. So congruent to the vertices would be a circumcenter, because we want an equal distance. Equal distance to angles vertices. They do need an explanation. If they don't have an explanation, it is wrong. If they skipped it, it is still 10. If they got it wrong, it is -1. So you're going to grade 9. If they got this wrong, it's -1. It's -10 if they skipped it. You'll also grade B the same way. Oh, sorry, B. What am I saying? 10 the same way. Well, a little bit different. I'll explain. You are using a rotary sprinkler to water to water the triangular garden. Rotary means it rotates, if you can tell by the root word. Explain how to locate the sprinkler the same distance from each side of the triangular garden. So you want it the same distance from each side. That would be an in-center. So use an in-center, so it's equidistant to the sides. So if they got that wrong, it's -1. If they skipped it, this one will be -5. Same thing here on the next one, on part B, if -1 if they got it wrong. If they skipped it, it's -5. Letter B, explain how to place the sprinkler the same distance from each vertex. So you would use a circumcenter. Use a circumcenter so it's equidistant to the vertices. Remember, vertices is plural of vertex. So go ahead and put a grade at the top. I would study this for your quiz and your test.